Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and we're reading Detective Comics number 945. Guys, we're just a couple short months away from that 950 issue anniversary. Loving it, but Batman in this is, oh man. Remember I told you back in Trinity number 3 that Batman's guilt is to absurd levels. I'm talking, Frank Miller worked on Daredevil before he came along and worked on Batman. And he brought with him all of that guilt, all of that angst, and man, just really, really deep stuff. And to make matters worse, of course, since he bottles it all in, nobody besides Alfred is going to know just how guilt-ridden he is. So, of course, Stephanie doesn't understand, and she's just laying it in on him thick. I'm actually starting to think that she's a victim syndicate sympathizer at this point, because she's not talking after her attack last issue. She's not even really talking to Batman at this point. So, of course, an entire psych eval has to happen for the entire team now, because that's just what Batman does. And, of course, Stephanie's smart enough to realize that it's not a psych eval, it's actually an interrogation. She orders a code that opens up the wall behind her, and Batman is kind of left there with nothing but his cape and cowl on, watching, observing, and yeah, he was just observing a psych eval. That's not cool, man. Talk about doctor-patient confidentiality. So all sorts of crazy things happen in this issue in the sense of trying to piece things together. Even Clayface was in there in the psych eval, and it's really cool how he explains that the longer he's in the Clayface form, the more elastic that his brain gets, so it's harder to judge morals, and whatever he wants to do instantaneously becomes the right thing to do in his own mind. I love that explanation. It's great the way that they're doing this stuff. I'm starting to wonder if they maybe hired a amateur shrink to come along and write in this comic, or at least advise. The art is all over the place, because reading the front of the issue, you'll realize that there were many artists that didn't even do like, I'll do this section, you'll do that section. They were actually jumping all over the place in this, and it's a little bit tedious. They make it work, but they don't make it work well. To me, honestly, the absolute worst part of the art is the Batmobile. You can see the front wheel of that thing. There's no way it's turning. Forget about the fact that there's no protection on it. The wheel itself can't possibly turn left or right. Who draws like that? However, it's forgiven. It's completely forgiven, because if you look directly below the front passenger side wheel and you see that image of Batman swinging with that particular red hood, yeah. Does that scene look familiar? Does that scene look familiar now? That homage right there, that is perfect. And from this point on, buddy, you get a pass on whatever you're going to do. That particular image alone, man, that's what I'm talking about. You gotta love the retro stuff, right? And the thing that's a real kicker in this is that Stephanie goes alone. She's grounded. She's not allowed to go out on this particular mission. Yeah, it turns out that John Paul Valley has just been attacked. The hospital that he's in has just been attacked by the victim syndicate, and he breaks open, looks like a stone slab, and pulls out his fiery sword, and oh, please don't let him get his butt kicked. Yeah, I really want to see John Paul go all sorts of Return of the Replacement Dark Knight on him. I want him to go nuts and just tear these people apart. I just get the distinct feeling that's not going to happen. But, is what it is. Either way, guys, this comic gets an A, because it is everything that a comic should be. And a Batman comic specifically, it's so psychological, it's insane. Guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, class dismissed.